It is December 18, 2024, inside the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. At exactly 10 a.m., a guard walks down death row and stops at one of the 200 cells. Inside, a man sits on the edge of his bed, awake, silent, and fully aware of what comes next. Kevin Ray Underwood has 24 hours left to live. Not every state in the United States allows the death penalty, and among those that do, execution methods and procedures vary, but the final timeline follows a familiar pattern. Months of preparation lead to a single day, designed to run without error. This is what happens during the final 24 hours on death row. Roughly a day before execution, the protocol begins with relocation. 34 days earlier, Underwood had already been strip-searched and x-rayed to ensure he carried nothing that could harm himself. Now he is moved from his regular housing unit into H Unit, the section that contains the execution chamber. Among guards, this area is often referred to as the death house. Some prisons transport inmates to separate facilities if execution chambers are not on site, making this transfer the most vulnerable moment in the entire process. While ambushes have never occurred, some states still use decoy vehicles on alternate routes as a precaution. When the transport arrives, Underwood steps out. This moment marks the last time he will see natural sunlight or breathe fresh air. He is escorted into the death house and placed in a cell just steps from the execution chamber. It contains a bed, a desk, a toilet, and a shower, cleaner than most prison cells, though far from comfortable. Amnesty International has described conditions in Oklahoma's H Unit as inhuman and degrading, comparing the cells to concrete tombs. For Underwood, this is where he will spend his final day. From this point forward, he is placed on death watch. A guard observes him constantly, not to prevent escape, but to ensure he does not harm himself before the execution. Around midday, guards bring him a standard prison meal directly to his cell. Nothing is ceremonial yet. In the afternoon, inmates are typically allowed visitations from lawyers, family members, clergy, or members of the press. Rules vary by state. In Oklahoma, Underwood is permitted only non-contact visits through glass partitions in the days leading up to execution. When visitation ends, only the prison warden and a chaplain may speak with him. For many inmates, this period is psychologically overwhelming. The chaplain's role is not to judge, but to prepare. He may help write letters, pray, sing, or simply sit in silence. For many, the realization that they will never speak to their loved ones again fully sets in during these hours. As night falls, Underwood has less than 12 hours remaining. This is when the last meal is served. Death row inmates in the United States spend an average of nearly 19 years incarcerated before execution, making this meal one of the few remaining choices left to them. It is meant to acknowledge their humanity. Popular culture often portrays extravagant final meals, but reality is far more restrained. Some states have abolished last meal requests entirely. Others impose strict limits. California allows a $50 budget, Florida $40. Oklahoma allows $25, and the food must be locally available. Underwood's specific request was not publicly confirmed at the time. After eating, he is allowed to sleep. Many inmates do not. The chaplain remains nearby as prisoners write letters or sit awake, processing what lies ahead. At approximately 4:30 a.m., guards wake Underwood. He is given 15 minutes to shower and issued a clean uniform. He is also provided an adult diaper. During death, the body can lose muscle control, and the diaper serves as a precaution to preserve dignity. The warden then explains the remaining steps before leaving to oversee preparations. In the execution chamber, medical personnel review equipment and supplies repeatedly. Nothing can go wrong. Back in the cell, the chaplain stays with Underwood during his final hours. Some inmates pray, some confess, some talk. Others remain silent. This is also when final words may be prepared. With 2 hours remaining, witnesses arrive at the prison. These include the inmate's family, the victim's family, journalists, and select members of the public. The warden escorts them to a witness room separated from the execution chamber by glass or a one-way mirror. Curtains remain closed for now, and silence is enforced. With 1 hour remaining, the warden returns to Underwood's cell and informs him it is time. Guards handcuff him and escort him down a short hallway into the execution chamber. The door closes behind him. There is no return. Inside the chamber, the stretcher, known as a gurney, sits at the center of the room. Medical monitors line the walls. Underwood lies down and a restraint team secures his arms, legs, and torso. Electrocardiogram leads are attached to monitor his heart. An IV team searches for suitable veins in both arms. Stress can make veins harder to locate, but complications are rare. Once found, 2 IV lines are inserted, one primary and one backup. The lines run through the wall to an adjacent observation room where the executioner waits. With 15 minutes remaining, Underwood stares at a telephone mounted on the wall. At any moment, the governor could call to issue a stay of execution due to new evidence or a last-minute appeal. This phone represents his final hope. It never rings. The curtain is opened, and witnesses see Underwood for the first time. He may deliver a final statement or remain silent. Once finished, he turns his head back toward the phone. The warden checks his watch, removes his glasses, and gives a nod. The signal is given. The executioner activates a medication delivery system containing 3 sets of syringes. The first contains midazolam, a powerful anesthetic. While a few milligrams are enough to sedate an adult, Underwood receives approximately 500 milligrams. Within minutes, his brain activity shuts down completely, rendering him unconscious. The second drug, vicuronium bromide, paralyzes all voluntary muscles, including those required for breathing. Finally, potassium chloride is administered. At this concentration, it overwhelms the heart's electrical system. The heart beats erratically, then stops. The heart monitor flatlines. Medical staff confirm death. The curtain is closed. Kevin Ray Underwood is pronounced dead at approximately 10 a.m. on December 19, 2024, his 45th birthday. As of October 2024, more than 1,600 prisoners have been executed in the United States since the death penalty was reinstated. Over 2,000 remain on death row. Kevin Ray Underwood was the final execution carried out in the United States in 2024. He was sentenced to death in 2008 for the first-degree murder of 10-year-old Jamie Rose Bolin. His guilt was never disputed. His attorneys argued that severe, untreated mental illness should have spared him the death penalty, but the sentence stood. What happened cannot be undone. The questions remain. Should mental illness change how society administers justice? And does the death penalty serve justice or simply end debate? Share your thoughts in the comments and take part in the discussion.